Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our show, Lifestyle with Dr. Mobi. I'm Dr. Mobi, and today we have great guest, Jim Chester of Chiro Hustle. He's gonna walk us with his routine and what makes him keep going every day. And he has made fantastic changes in his lifestyle. Let's learn from Jim. Jim, welcome to our show.
I am so happy to be here. Thrilled, honestly, to be able to share this interview with you and your audience today and to let people know some strategies for healthy habits and what really keeps us going with Chiro Hustle and why we started doing what we do. So, thank you for having me as your guest today.
Okay, great. So tell me about your normal day routine. So when you wake up, what do you do?
So I was sharing to you this information pre-interview, and I think a lot of things that people have to understand is morning routines are so helpful for them.
Mhm.
And when you were messaging me and we were setting up the interview, I'm like, the morning's sacred to me. Like before 10 a.m., I take time to myself. I work on my core four, which are my body, my being, my balance, and my business. So I
Mhm.
focus on these certain healthy routines that I do. And when I wake up, I read affirmations, I do prayers, I do meditation, I
Mhm.
work on the curves of my spine for cervical and lumbar.
Mhm.
In the shower, like I was telling you, I do breathing techniques
Mhm.
with cold water just to make sure that I'm invigorated and that my body's in tune. And yeah, that's kind of how I start the morning out. And I make a healthy smoothie every day with fruits and vegetables and plant-based protein, and I give myself good nutrients to where I can perform better.
Okay, great. Well, I can tell you look great, and you probably, I'm sure you feel great too, right? So tell us what changed you in to kind of more focus on healthier lifestyle.
Well, for those of you out there that are watching, I'm coming into my 42nd year, which is October 1st, which is a couple weeks away.
Mhm.
And I realize that a lot of people fall into this trap of thinking that a lifestyle
Mhm.
is, you know, cheap, fast, or easy. And I think that people treat themselves and their body, which is their temple, cheap, fast, and easy. And I think that people have to get back to a routine of knowing that what they put into their body has to be sourced properly. What they put into their mind has to be sourced properly. And how they take care of themselves has to be very um, mindful. And, a year ago, I didn't do meditation.
Mhm.
But now I do 20 minutes of meditation every day. I don't skip a day.
Mhm.
So I realized that if I wanted to take care of my temple, which is my body, and I wanted it to be around for a long time, I had to eat well, think
Mhm.
well, move well, and take care of my spine. So that those are like the core principles of which I follow just to make sure that as I go into my 43rd year and so on, that my body's healthy and happy and productive and moving and producing well.
Uh, Great. And I think you also mentioned something about your diet. You're great into smoothies and great diet. So share us with your kind of lunch, dinner.
Yeah, so I typically eat about between 4 to 6 ounces of protein, and I make sure I get between 4 to 6 ounces of fruit and vegetable twice a day. So I
Mhm.
usually have a more of a liquid diet up until about 1 p.m. And then I have my first meal of the day, which is between 4 to 6 ounces of protein. Then I have the vegetables and fruits with that meal. And then in the evening, I keep my food window between a 1 p.m. and a 7 p.m. So
Mhm.
I'm eating between a certain window to where my body can optimize that food to where I don't go to sleep, as I know what you're an expert in is sleeping.
Mhm.
And if you eat too late in the day, you don't get restful sleep because your body's working on a different system, which is the digestive system,
Mhm.
and the circulatory system is not kicking in the right way. So we're
Mhm.
not resting and digesting. We're actually struggling to make it through the night of sleep because our body's doing a system that it should be doing at a different part of the day. Because if we're following a circadian rhythm, That means that we have to feed our bodies on a routine. Otherwise, we're out of rhythm.
Wow, I'm so impressed. I am so impressed with you, sir. Because what you have described is not a lot of people know that. It's a simple fact that, our bodies are actually on a rhythm. So they have a circadian rhythm. Every cell, you'll be surprised to know, but every cell in the body has its own clock. And every cell is how it synchronizes to all of it to the central clock is amazing. You know but I think my guess is because they are all in rhythm, so it's easy to synchronize things in rhythm. The problem happens if things are out of rhythm, then it's a problem. So every day our body needs a synchronization with the external environment. So if we are in a spaceship, our bodies will still function very well, but it needs to know which is day and which is night. So a lot of people don't know, but mind actually drifts 15 to 20 minutes every day forward, and we have to keep it checked and keep it intact every day. So if we don't let it do that, our it goes like a wild clock, move forward, forward, forward. We can't let that happen because, like you said, our internal clock will mess up. So a lot of people, you have another great point is a lot of people try to use food to help to sleep. So they will kind of eat a lot till they pretty much crash in the bed, and then they think that is gonna get them good night's sleep. Problem, what you said is perfect. What happens to the circulation? You dump a big amount in stomach, and then who's going to absorb that? Your blood, right? Your body. So circulatory system, yes, the blood will be forced to stomach, taking out from brain and from the heart major portion. And yes, you will feel very kind of drowsy. But does it give you a good night's sleep? Absolutely not. you know so so the that is a great point. I mean, I loved it when you said that.
Well, what happens, Doc, is when people eat and it's not on a good strategy, then
Mhm.
the body's organ system has to take that burden,
Mhm.
and the burden is on the pancreas and the gallbladder and on the stomach and the intestines, and then the liver.
Yeah.
So the organ system gets put under stress if it's not getting a proper amount of hydration and
Mhm.
if we're not eating proper nutrition. Because there's a saying, I'm sure you've heard it before, is you are what you eat.
That's true. That's true.
But you are what you eat eats.
Mhm.
So it's a very linear system. So if you say, hey, I eat 5 ounces of protein every day, that's from chicken breast. Well, what are they feeding the chicken breast? So we have to be mindful of our selections of what we allow ourselves to consume, because we become that. So I
Mhm.
think that when we think about the timing of eating it, and the quantity and the quality of what we eat is very important as well.
Mhm. Yeah, and that is another beautiful concept. And a lot of people, ask me is that what is actually the secret? I said, well, secret is simplicity. Secret is understanding the logic. What you have described is perfect. Is your body should not go through shock. We don't want to shock our circulation, liver, heart, and brain, and then expect and pancreas, not to mention. So what is happening for people don't understand that once we eat a big amount, stomach has to go into overdrive and work so hard to get that out, because blood is the one gonna get absorb all that nutrient. Of course, stomach has to digest that first. Not to mention you get all the acid reflux and all the food coming up. So eat less at a portion size control. Do not fill your stomach. Drink water before. And there is entity, I think I also describe mindful eating. So you really don't have to keep eating till you throw up. You have to stop somewhere. Better to stop earlier. Have small portions, right? And then,
It's eating for performance.
yeah.
And I think that if people understand this simple thing, if you eat real food, fruits, vegetables, and protein, that builds healthy cells. If
Mhm.
you eat anything outside of protein, vegetable, and fruit, it turns into sugar.
Yeah.
And sugar builds a toxic load inside of the arteries and inside of the vascular system. And if you looked at what a sugar grain looks like underneath a microscope, it looks very jagged, and it looks like a sharp uncut diamond. And what happens is if we get too much of that going through our bloodstream, that's when we get hardened arteries. That's when we get hardened hearts, and we get heart disease, because if people don't take care of eating mindful and regular good food, then the body takes on the absorption of all those sugars. And then the sugar destroys the organs, because as it flows through the vascular system, it builds scar tissue. And if we have too much scar tissue over and over and over, that's when we have pancreas shut down, and that's when people get diabetes.
That's so perfect. Wow. I'm again impressed by your description and your breadth of knowledge. So he's just really amazing how he describes. So, that's true. Pancreas is actually burdened. Sugars are a culprit. And I see the problem is also many times I thought food industry probably is the culprit too, because they don't want to emphasize that. If you go to any fast food, they will give you free sugary stuff, free, have free everything. They'll never give you free salad. They'll never give you free good stuff. you know because they know that you'll not come back. There's the food addiction is a big problem, carb addiction.
Mm-hmm.
It's
And we have to be, we also have to be mindful of what we put into our ears, what we put into our eyes, and what we put into our mouths. Like
Mhm.
we have control of that domain.
Yeah.
So we have to source what we pay attention to very specific. If we want to read good stuff, then we have to source good stuff. If we want to watch and pay attention to good stuff, well, we have to source good stuff. And if we want to eat, which keeps our body healthy, then we can do that, which keeps us on good source. So if we're dialed in with our source, then the body, the temple, like you pay attention to, rests peacefully.
hmm And also, a lot of people ask me about, sleep. So I also kind of discussing with you. I was discussing with you earlier, and you mentioned a lot about you really put attention on sleep. So tell me about what you think about that.
Well, there's two nervous systems. There's the parasympathetic and there's the sympathetic.
Uh-huh.
And when your parasympathetic is not in fight or flight, it's chilled out,
hmm
then the body is able to go into rest. And that's when we have this concept of called rest and digest. And that's when the body actually goes into homeostasis and cellular repair happens. And when people don't restfully sleep, they don't get cellular repair. And that's when they become acidic and toxic. Because if you're not flushing the nervous system properly with proper sleep, then the body becomes on overload, like you said, and the stress that it puts on the organ system, which is organized. The reason they call it an organ system because it's organized, and we have this beautiful, beautiful nervous system that is run from our brain all the way down to every organ, tissue, and cell in our body. And if that organ system is not getting proper nerve flow and nerve function, then the body's going to go into a fight or flight and a stress mode. And if we're having that component while we're trying to restfully sleep, it will be dysfunctional sleep. It won't be a restful sleep.
Uh, And that's, I will just kind of add to that little great explanation. Sympathetic is fight or flight, like Jim mentioned. So, fight, just remember what will happen in fight is your brain and heart is focused on too much adrenaline and is gonna basically work out of that to raise the blood pressure. Heart rate will go up. So, ideal sleep or best sleep is where your heart rate is slow and also your blood pressure is lower. So, that is more parasympathetic. If it's sympathetic, guess what will happen is people will have high blood pressure. Sleep will be worse because the brain and heart are worried that you might not come back. So that's where all the sleep problems, sleep apnea, and all the oxygen problem starts. And why that happens? Because we gain weight, because we put our body away from norm, and there's a now new norm body has to learn. And then so can it be cured? Sure. If you change your lifestyle, if you fix it, sure, your body has amazing capability of repair and coming back. Doesn't matter how old you are. So, but you need to be positive. So sleep is, I think he describes so perfectly. Sympathetic and parasympathetic, you have to work more with parasympathetic than sympathetic, and kind of give more, uh, your heart and brain a break. You can't just put that on overdrive all the time, and that is gonna make it worse. Also, tell us about, what do you focus on to make sure towards evening or night you sleep on proper time and wake up, or maintain your discipline, or
Those are good questions, and I appreciate you asking about routine. So I typically try to make it to bed by 11 p.m., and I typically set my alarm for 7 a.m. But I always wake up before the alarm. So that's I roughly push myself to um, be restful for between 7 and 8 hours each night. But I wake up before the alarm almost every day. Like I would say, like one out of the days of a 30-day cycle does the alarm wake me up. But when I travel a lot, that's another trigger for me because typically before this whole pandemic that we're in right now, I would travel 50 weekends out of the year.
what?
So I was constantly on a cycle of travel.
Mhm.
So this year's a little bit different for me because I've actually been able to like nest in my own environment a lot more. And
Mhm.
it's been very helpful for me to actually build some healthier routines around diet, fitness, and sleeping patterns. But being on an airplane, being a busy traveler, the sleep pattern gets disrupted so often because I have a 6 a.m. flight today. I have there's so much that goes involved with the added stress of travel. So that makes these things that we're talking about ever more difficult because when we're going through the travel cycle, we pick poor choices for food of how we feed ourselves. We might not get restful sleep. We're on, high performance when we're talking to people and we're at seminars and we're out there doing engagement with people. So I think that, just to understand that the human is very dynamic,
Mhm.
that we need to always check in with ourselves and give ourselves permission to repair and to find new ways to take care of ourselves, especially on a very fast paced, stressful lifestyle.
Mm. And that is such a great, talk on that. That how to manage the stress, and everybody has stress. Stress will never go away. It's our approach to stress has to change. Our body to how we react to that is change. So I would like to share with you too and the audience that myself, I 4 years ago I was in bad lifestyle. I lost 100 pounds, and 4 years now, perfect diabetes gone, all everything. So I maintain a good lifestyle, and my stresses have not gone away. They have probably doubled or tripled, but my body knows how to handle that, and that's what I learned through this. And same thing, you can do it too. So stress, everybody has. I will never say stresses go away. It's
Mm-mm.
your approach, your way of dealing with, and we can all learn that. It's very easy to get into rhythm, but you have to find a rhythm. Everybody has a rhythm. Right now you have a rhythm, I have a rhythm, but it has to be more conducive to our health. It has to work in our advantage, to our advantage, not against us. And always I say solutions have to be simple. You cannot, and there are actually, a good thing is there is more than one way of doing things there, but there are ways which will hamper your daily routine and which can make it worse. Or there are ways like Jim has, prayer and meditation, relaxation, and give your body chance to heal both emotionally and physically, and then get your body to the maximum ability to perform. And that's all we are asking. We're not asking to do kind of thing which are so hard for you, right? So so tell us what motivates you positively. What do you find these positive energy flowing into you every day?
Yeah, I'm so happy you asked that question because each day I do something called the core four,
Mm.
and you get a half point for each things. And if it's okay, I'll explain to the core four.
Sure, sure.
So the core four is the body,
Hmm.
the being, the human being, the
Hmm.
balance, which is our relationships with others, and then the business,
Hmm.
because we all have to figure out how to earn and support ourselves.
Hmm.
So each day, every day, there's no days off, no birthdays off, no holidays off. You do the core four. So every day you're going to eat or drink something green for a half point. You're going to exercise. That's whether it's hiking, biking, push ups, sit ups, weight training, whatever it is, yoga, it could be any type of body conditioning. So
Hmm.
now we're feeding it well and we're moving it well. And
Hmm.
then we're going to focus on the being part, which is the human being. And that's where we get into the cycle of meditation, affirmations, prayers, and journaling. So for each one of those things you do, you get a half point. Now we're at 2 points. Okay. So we're midway through the core four. And then the other part of it is the balance, and that's if you have a significant other, you're going to send a message of connection, and then you're going to find colleagues and friends or family that you're going to connect with every day. So
Hmm.
you're going to send messages or calls to people and stay in touch with your community, which is your sphere of influence, which is your local people that you love. So just send a message to people once a day, somebody that you haven't talked to in a while, say, hey, just thinking about you, wanted to let you know I love you. Or send a message to somebody that you're in a relationship with, say, hey, just want to check in with you and let you know that I'm thinking about you today. So just staying in touch with people with these very small things can build a lot of influence for your relationships. And then you go to business. So each day you're going to watch something, read something, learn something. It could be a YouTube video, it could be a podcast, it could be any medium that will give you some information. And then you're going to either disseminate that, you're going to teach that, or you're going to declare that. So each day you're going to follow a business strategy to feed yourself with something positive that you can share with others. And I think that if people did that every day, they would find themselves more on purpose and more focused and more driven and a happier version of themselves. So the core four is something I've done every day now for almost a year.
Okay, great. Well, see, I mean, I can tell that you have developed your rhythm and your routine, and you're practicing that every day. And the more actually, what I have seen is body realizes that whenever we are on the right direction, body can feel emotionally as well as physically. You will see that you are much happier, much easier, lighter. You feel pretty light actually. So because you're not dumping all that calories and things which your body is fighting all day and night to get rid of that. So your body and our bodies are amazing. They have really amazing ability to come back, so that's what everybody's unique. And so pay attention to those, and then keep working. Like I said, put positive energy. You can do throughout day. You can do throughout day. Like Jim said, make wherever you get time, make a call, feel good about that, and then you will see your day changes. Your day is will be same 24 hour, but you are happier by the end of the day, that you say, oh my god, I have accomplished something, I've done great things. Those could be small things. You don't have to really spend thousands of dollars to make you happy. You can do it very simply. Call somebody you love, and you're right. And a good thing is, everybody can do it very cheap too. So this is great, because you don't try to make yeah, there are people who would spend that, and then makes them happy. That is true. But try to come up with a simple answer, simple solution, simple, that you can sustain rest of your life. And it could be even exercise, walking. Just walk a few blocks in lunch hour. Go outside, check nature, look at the blue sky, enjoy, listen to the nature, and those positive energy will flow. Your thoughts will clear. You will see what you are as relationship to our environment and nature, and where we belong to. So then that's all we have to realize that, and you will see that you get all the positive energy flowing into you every day, every day. So go outside, don't stay inside. That's important. Also, Jim, tell us about how you're dealing with the COVID changes.
Well, I just want to share with people one thing that has helped a lot of people that I interact with, and that is to create a brag journal.
Mhm.
And at the end of your day, write down everything in a journal that you did positive, or
Mhm.
everything that was an awesome thing that happened to you from either someone or some occurrence that you've done. So
Mhm.
I think that being positive at the end of the day also lets you build up your library of feelings. And that could be something very positive for people, because right now we're under a lot of stress from environmental stress, from fires in the West. We're under cultural stress from the judgment of others and judgment of ourselves. We're under a fear stress from some virus that we don't know what it is or how it is, or if it's real or if it's not real. I think that we have a lot of judgment, environmental, personal, relational stresses. So the more that we focus on the small things, like you said, going and eating and walking for 30 minutes after you eat, very positive.
Yep.
Making a recording on your daily log of everything that happened in your life that was awesome that day. Those are the things that are going to make you more productive and more mindful and more balanced as a human. And one of the guys that I follow, his name is Dr. John DeMartini, and he once told me 6 years ago that you have to give yourself permission to be great. No one's going to wake up in the day and give you the better day. You have to do that for yourself. So I think self accountability is one of those things that we should all focus on more during these COVID times, because with something that is so fearful and so scary that most people internalize, it builds a lot of stress, and those stress build bad habits, and with those bad habits people sedate. And one of my goals is to be more of myself. I don't want more alcohol or more drugs or more nicotine or more whatever it might be, an outside in source. I want to have more inside out source. So I don't want sedation. I want the world to see more of Jim Chester. So I think that that's some advice that I could give to people, just to focus on the positive that happens during their day, to where that they can give themselves permission on a day-to-day basis to be great instead of just mediocre or okay.
Okay, and that is such a great thought too. By the way, for our sleep, we tell people that to put aside a time, and which you said, make a journal or write something positive. So I only tell them a little bit that away from your sleep time, put aside time where you're going to also concentrate on some what is bothering you, or so you're not doing this in the bed then. So if so I will have that kind of laid out. Okay, I'm gonna focus at this time anything which is unfinished, so it doesn't bother me when I am in the bed and thinking, oh my god, I didn't call that person. So those are, we have to just streamline things, and that's the beauty of brain, is that the more streamline you do, the better it handles and more it can handle. Believe me, it has such amazing capability of handling that it is. I tell everybody it's a miracle. Everybody says, where are the miracles? I say, it's a miracle you wake up and you do things. You even move your arm. You don't know. I can give you all the description, all the neurons which are firing from, this part to that part, and how beautifully it synchronizes. It's a miracle. Believe me, it's a miracle. So, you should be, everybody should be thankful that they wake up and then they have their body to thank for, that we are blessed. And so this positivity actually really drives everybody. I think you do wonderfully with your prayers, which is one way of actually thanking yourself, or and the creator, and whatever your beliefs are. So those give you right away, whole day is brightened up. So yeah, so those are, and a lot of people ask me, oh, what will happen to our feeding and eating tomorrow? Well, so if I think, I also become depressed, what will happen 2 days, 10 days, 12 days? But that's somebody beyond us, to think on that. That's not my you kind of philosophy. So I think keep positive. Something good will happen, and it will always, believe me, happen if we are positive. So, any final thought, Jim?
Well, our show supports the chiropractic profession. And I believe that if everybody followed a chiropractic lifestyle, then their bodies would be more in homeostasis and healing rather than dysfunction and disease. So I believe everybody should at least get checked for vertebral subluxation and to make sure that their body is in alignment to where the organ system stays organized and the body stays in a state of healing. And the more healthy that we are, the better vibrational frequency we carry. And we are all beings of light. And if we have light flowing through our nervous system, then our bodies will be enlightened and will be full and will feel great and will perform well. And if people want to know more information about what we're doing, go to chirohustle.com or send me a direct message at Jim Chester on Facebook. And I'd be happy to help anybody that has any questions about anything that we discussed today.
Okay, well, great for coming. It was such a learning even for myself. Your thoughts and they are amazing, and he's a great motivational speaker, teacher, everything. Keep up the good work and keep coming back. And for anybody who has questions, give us feedback, questions, and whatever you like. Twitter, Facebook, email, and you have that information for us. And if you have also any other comments, let us know, and we'll be very happy to entertain that for everyone. So keep watching our show. Thank you, Jim, for coming, and take care.
Hey, thank you for having me as your guest today.
Take